no! My name is the Lord! I'm walking here! I'm walking here!
I'm sorry, Dave. I'm afraid I can't do that.
Groovy.
Alright, welcome to Box Office Pulp, everybody. I'm James.
I don't even want to give you that intro. You snuck it on us. That's my joke.
How does it feel?
Wait,
And I'm Cody.
wait. You mean to tell me that you're offended by things being snuck up on you?
Well, I never said I wasn't a hypocrite.
Oh. Well, I have to give
But
you
I'm not.
I was about to say I respect you, but I take back that respect.
Good. I don't want your respect. So anyways, this is Box Office Pulp, the Angry Edition. It's actually the Summer Picnic Edition. Surprise! Everyone's having a fun time. There's lemonade.
Once again, you snuck things on us.
Haha.
Could you imagine that? Springing a surprise picnic on someone?
That'll teach
Check
him.
the basket, motherfucker.
Question about the lemonade.
Yes.
Regular or pink?
Ooh. You know, that's hard to say because I enjoy both. I'm going to say there's pink lemonade in our Mind Palace picnic.
I feel like pink lemonade is flirtatious, though, to serve.
Why you gotta treat it like a whore?
Yeah.
Isn't it cutesy and fun?
Jesus.
Jeez, you can't just always have regular old lemonade.
Why do you have to roofie the lemonade, James?
Rohypnol, you say?
Why am I drinking the lemonade, James?
What
What's
are
in
you
the lemonade?
Everybody
Come
out
on,
of my
James.
Mind Palace.
I don't want to be in here. It's weird.
Man, this is why we don't have company picnics more often.
And that was the Box Office Pulp picnic.
Goodbye.
That was the Box Office Pulp picnic. Goodbye. What we're really here for, besides turkey legs and ants, is
What? What do you eat at a fucking picnic?
You don't have turkey legs at your picnics?
No.
What do you have at yours?
I mean, I don't even have picnics.
Yeah, well,
That's right, you don't have picnics. You don't picnic.
Well played, Cody.
Well, fair enough.
Check
You
in,
just-
mate, sir.
you just played a gambit to out Mike as a non-picnicker.
This has been the long con, man. I don't even like movies.
You're more of a book guy.
Speaking of which, what movie is on right now?
It's Man of Steel. But on the, yeah, I haven't watched it in a while. You know, with all the Justice League stuff coming out, I kind of got interested again. And there's been so much bitching about it, I figured maybe my opinion would change and I would, like, not really enjoy it. But without sound, I gotta say, it's still fun.
It's better somehow.
That's Goyer.
There's decent sound effects in the movie.
You can make those with your mouth. So.
Look, we'll
That's
talk
true,
about
and
the
I
sound.
do. Look, a
We'll talk about
helicopter!
the-
Superman.
Oh, he's bending steel girders.
Doo-doo.
Heat vision.
Quick theme.
Du-du-du-du.
Now I'm laughing, my throat hurts. I've got a cold. Don't make me do stuff.
We all have colds, Cody. You're not unique.
We have colds of the soul.
We have personal
Oh,
cold.
ooh, Colds of the Soul. I like that. Can that be a Lavenge song too?
Yes, it is.
Colds of the Soul. The sad thing was, I actually bought Superman, Superman 2, and Superman Returns in a 3-pack Blu-ray today, and for some reason I'm not watching those.
Is it the Donner cut of Superman 2?
It is the Donner cut of Superman 2.
Nice.
Is that the preferred cut?
Yes.
I think it is
Okay.
for most people. Which I think is a testament to how weird a movie that Superman 2 is, that the weird Frankenstein monster Richard Donner cut is widely preferred.
Why not? But we're getting away from the point here. We came to discuss summer movies. 2015 summer movies.
Superman 2 was a summer movie.
That's why I specified 2015. We didn't quite come to terms
Superman
on
can
this. What are
time
we
travel. He
considering?
can spin around the Earth.
Alright, you got me there. Well, I guess this is all fucked now. We're talking about Superman. This is what we're here for now. Just Superman.
So what was the deal with Nuclear Man?
Nobody knows. I'm gonna go.
Why isn't there a director's cut of Superman 4?
I want to see the
No one
Richard
wants to
Pryor
acknowledge
cut
it.
of Superman 3 where he battles Brainiac.
Like, I'm gonna go with the timeline that there's Superman, Superman 2, Superman Returns.
They're going with
No.
official continuity.
No, Superman 3 still totally happened. Brandon Routh met a wisecracking Richard Pryor at some point.
And then
Whatever
found
makes you
himself in
happy.
a junkyard.
Maybe in that version, they combined Superman 3 and 4, and Richard Pryor became Nuclear Man.
Yes!
All right, we've made film history here tonight on Box Office Pulp. Good night, everybody.
Buchanan.
Good night. Get out of here. I don't want to see you again. Ah, right. Movies.
The ending
movies.
theme in right there, and just silence, and just, we're kidding.
Do it like a Sin City fake out. We're all hanging by nooses, eyes slowly closing.
No.
Rock jazz.
Oh.
So, are we going with April is a summer month, or are we saying May is when our summer movies begin?
For
and me and I
this year,
discussed this.
yeah. For this year, we decided that April was going to be the official start of summer because the first summer-like movie comes out in April, which is Fast Furious 6, I believe. What?
No, it's Furious 7. Furious 7.
Furious 7.
Here I thought you were going with April just because that's when Daredevil premieres. I don't even care if that's a movie. That's when my summer starts.
Daredevil is when my year starts.
Nothing
It's our
exists
own
outside of
personal
Daredevil.
Chinese New Year.
Daredevil is where my year starts and ends until Star Wars.
What are you going to do? They're going to put all 10 episodes out on the same day. You're going to watch all of them.
13.
Oh, 13?
You know
You're going
these
to watch
things.
all 13 episodes on like that first day, and then year's over.
Well,
No,
it's
we're
like
gonna
the,
watch
it's
them
like the
again, then we're gonna watch them together. Then we're
Well,
gonna
it's
record commentaries.
And then
It's like
again and again and again.
And again and again and again.
And it's brought
and
down.
again.
well, it's like the
All right.
13-hour Daredevil movie. It's like you watch it and it's like, well, okay, I watched that. I can
13
choose.
hours of Daredevil. You make it sound like, Gone with the Daredevil. Like it's just a huge classic epic.
It is.
It is.
Yes.
I guess you're right. Yeah. Netflix made that possible. Netflix.
Frankly, Vincent D'Onofrio doesn't give a damn.
We can talk about movies.
So Furious 7. Are any of you guys, do you ride cars? Do you enjoy cars?
Do you ride cars?
Do you enjoy, the wheels and the honk and, all that kind of stuff?
I do, Cody.
I'm going to be honest with you here.
I
I don't give two shits about the Fast and the Furious franchise.
I love how Furious 7 looks like James Wan decided to make a Saints Row film.
Pretty much.
All I know is that I watched the Super Bowl ad and it was like two cars jumping from a freaking
Plane.
one building to another.
I was mesmerized by The
the-
Rock marching through the streets with a Gatling gun.
Yes, okay. Yeah, the minigun had promise.
Yeah,
The minigun.
I'm still not terribly invested in this series, but I actually enjoyed Fast 5 quite a bit. I'm fascinated by the way they managed to reboot this franchise into something almost unrecognizably different. Like you said, kind of like the Saints Row games. Like, first two games, just a Grand Theft Auto ripoff, starting with a third. We're just gonna make the most batshit insane thing possible. And the Fast and the Furious franchise has done that in spades. It's kind of like they're a less on-the-nose version of the Expendables franchise. It's like, we're just gonna make the most action movie that ever action movied. Then we're gonna do it again and again and again.
Well, I guess if you know it works for you and it makes money, who cares? I think I've watched the first Fast and the Furious and maybe part of the third one. So I think I'm still stuck in the less balls to the wall section of the series. Maybe that's my problem.
Yeah, you haven't even gotten to The Rock yet, so.
Yeah, they've somehow rebooted it as a heist franchise.
So there's no Tokyo drifting in the rest of them?
I am waiting for all the Tokyo Drift characters to become relevant again in this franchise.
Well, they have caught up to Tokyo Drift in the timeline because Jason Statham is now the villain of this film. And they retconned him as the secret villain or something of Tokyo Drift.
Wait, the timeline is that complicated in Fast and the Furious? I just assume they're all chronologically
They
made. This
really
is why-
tried to ignore Tokyo Drift.
That's weird. Did it really fuck up the continuity that much? I just assumed they raced around, Tokyo for a while and just called it a day.
They drift around Tokyo. Get it?
You're right. Now, I gotta get my terminology right. That could lead to confusion.
With PS2 graphics, from what I remember.
And that's whenever fucking Vin Diesel had his Japan story in that last scene.
Good times.
Personally speaking, I've never seen any of them besides one, and I really will probably not see this one, but it looked insane and amazing from the TV spot, so it gave me a moment of enjoyment.
I would say at least watch Fast 5 for the moment where Vin Diesel and The Rock decide to put aside their differences and become action buddies. And they do this with the most badass handshake since Predator.
I was gonna say, were they gonna do the whole Dylan thing?
You might have sold me just with that description.
Hey, Cody, have you seen any videos where they put, the Predator handshake together into a song?
Oh, guys, I got a video to show you. What they do is they take a clip from Predator where Arnold Schwarzenegger, he does this killer handshake and the hands slap. And then they remix that into like 10 minutes of just pushing too many pencils.
The thing is, I don't know if he's joking based on what I said or being serious based on what I said.
The world may never know.
He just wants to get that video out there.
But I refuse to share it. You'll have to dig for your own gold.
Make the journey on your own.
You have to dig deep inside yourself. I believe in you, listener.
Moving away from the Rock and Vin Diesel for a moment, I'm sorry. Yeah, another movie comes out in April afterwards, though. It's not, I wouldn't say it's a summer movie, but Ex Machina comes out in April.
That looks amazing, and I'm sure it'll never get to a theater within 100 miles of my house.
Probably not, but...
I know nothing about it. Tell me.
Yeah, I haven't seen the trailer, but I have heard of it. It sounds interesting.
I purposely not watched the trailer yet. It's written and directed by Alex Garland.
Uh-huh.
And,
Plus, the cast is pretty good. It's got Oscar Isaac as, like, a reclusive Bill Gates, Steve Jobs kind of mashup, super genius. And the ginger guy that's going to be in Star Wars. I'm going to look his name up because I can't remember it. He was in Harry Potter. He's in Frank. Domhnall Gleeson.
He's in Star Wars?
He's going to be in Star Wars.
Yep.
Does he have the Claymore? Because that's the only character I care about. I'm sorry, we all know that's going to be Adam Driver.
Yep.
But, it's another crazy British sci-fi movie, which they've been making a lot of the last few years.
They really have. It seems like over there they're very slowly trying to bring back the intellectual sci-fi movies of the 60s and 70s.
Yeah, old type sci-fi that I missed.
The only one I know of is The Machine, starring Katie Lutz.
Well, to be fair, that's the most important one.
There's also, to get away from Ex Machina, Kill Me 3 Times. Has anyone heard anything about that?
No.
Simon Pegg is playing an assassin with a fantastic handlebar mustache.
His mustache is amazing. I forgot that's the name of it.
It is. I've seen very little on it, but the trailer I watched made it seem like it could be enjoyable. It's Simon Pegg, so that alone makes me want to give it a shot.
The poster's amazing.
Yeah. It's more comedy, I think, than action, but still it looks like it has potential.
I thought Simon Pegg's an action star now.
I like the weird, dark turn Simon Pegg has taken. Like, starting with World's End, and then it just seems to play sociopaths and serial killers exclusively now.
He's trying to confess to his real life and no one's listening.
He's like, he saw fucking, what Jim Carrey did with the Cable Guy and said, no, he bit off too much too soon. I'm gonna do a slow burn psychotic break.
I'm gonna slowly test the waters and then, not dunk my head in all at once. It's the two different approaches going into a pool. Adam Sandler fucked up by just jumping in.
Boom! Punch Drunk Love.
Ooh.
Is everyone excited for the Cobbler?
No.
No.
I'm assuming it involves shoes.
Yeah, it does. Magic shoes.
Magic shoes. Oh, is this the Adam Sandler one?
Yes, that's why we're talking about Adam Sandler.
Okay, this is all making sense now.
Well, is there another movie about magic shoes that I'm not aware of?
Well, I just heard the words cobbler. I didn't even remember that was a movie until my brain eventually clicked and went, "You watch this, but I made you forget it for your own good."
Look, you're forgetting the amazing looking coming of age story about the founding of Nike. So
I was reading reviews of the Cobbler just out of boredom, and there's apparently like one black character in that entire movie. And he's evil. And I guess, Adam Sandler uses his shoes to become him at some point. And then uses being black to, skip out on a check and do other criminal things.
Okie doke.
I like how, despite Adam Sandler being in Funny People, he's still continuing to make Funny People movies. He's the only person I've seen able to pull off a pitch-perfect parody of his own bullshit and then continue to do his own bullshit. You gotta kind of admire that.
Well, he's gotta pay the bills somehow. Speaking of paying the bills...
He can't make Hotel Transylvania money every day.
Is anyone looking forward to Paul Blart Mall Cop 2?
I like how that was what our minds went to immediately.
Yep.
I didn't know that was a thing until I was looking up release dates.
Let's all admit it. We were all sitting here trying to figure out who could make the best and quickest Paul Blart Mall Cop joke, weren't we? Because I was sitting there like, how can I bring up Paul Blart Mall Cop and how unhappy I am that it exists.
And I stole it from you.
You did.
What I want to know is, okay, we've all seen Paul Blart Mall Cop many times. Clearly a comedic homage to the original Die Hard, right?
Right.
Does this mean that?
But here's the thing: like, there's no open ending, so it doesn't really fit for a sequel. Are they going to do a prequel? Is it going to be like Paul Blart Begins? Or
Okay. Have you seen the trailer for Paul Blart 2?
Wait, what I want to know is,
I have, and let me
2,
explain what I understand.
Let me finish my fucking joke.
Finish.
Okay. Sorry.
Will Part 2 have Paul Blart in an airport taken over by William Sadler?
God, if only.
As someone who's seen the trailer, I can only say probably not.
Well, fine.
Well, what was the trailer, Cody? Fucking dying to talk over there.
Paul Blart, the mall cop, goes on vacation. And while on vacation at his fancy resort, people bring anarchy with them, and Paul Blart's the only one who can stop these evil criminal shenanigans.
But that's not in the mall. How is he going to come?
He goes to Las Vegas for a security guard expo. So it's kind of a vacation deal.
I love how this is like an anime where being security guard is the most important thing in this universe.
You do get to see Kevin James get hit by a car like 3 times in the trailer, so that's...
But did he die?
No, he keeps getting up. They didn't hit him hard enough.
Okay, here's the thing.
I feel bad saying that because I enjoyed King of Queens.
So
don't do this to me, Kevin Hart. Or Kevin James. Don't do this.
And Kevin
Racist.
No, I don't see color apparently.
Or size. Here's the thing.
Oh, now who's a jerk?
Here's something that weirds me out about Kevin James. That's the fact that the entire premise of Grown Ups was getting all of the early 90s Saturday Night Live guys back together for a reunion movie. But since Chris Farley was dead, they just replaced him with another fat guy. So the scenes of them all together are just really weird and disturbing. It's like when they switched fucking Curly's on the Three Stooges.
Just put a shirt.
You know that doesn't work for just any old fat guy, right?
It's so weird and sad that Adam Sandler decided just to pull Kevin James into his weird black hole of nothing. Well, he went from the King of Queens to Paul Blart Mall Cop and the Zookeeper.
I want to say Paul Blart made a lot of money, didn't it?
Paul Blart Mall Cop crushed, which nobody expected.
It was a runaway hit.
Let's see what Box Office Mojo says.
That was the January garbage dump because no one thought that was going to make any money, and it destroyed.
And now we get a sequel 6 years later.
We've been free from Paul Blart for 6 years.
What a glorious 6 years.
Well, that's the point. It's been gone for so long that now it's coming back as a nostalgia movie. Like, remember Paul Blart, kids?
It's like T2, Judgment Day.
I seriously thought James was going to say, it's coming back as a Dark Knight Returns type story. I was like, I would be so for
that. Would be amazing.
Paul Blart's on a Segway because his knees are fucked up.
The icy on my chest is like a baptism.
I want to see Kevin James as Batman. I don't know why.
Interesting idea. But here's a weird thing. Okay, normally, no offense to the international community, but when a movie's crappy and they make a sequel, it normally means domestically it did okay and overseas it did really good. Pirates of the Caribbean 4 being a really good example. Or Clash of the Titans, the remake. However, Paul Blart Mall Cop, guess how much money it made overseas? Someone throw out a number. Negative money is close. It made $36 million. Guess how much money it made domestically?
$1 billion.
Closer. $146 million.
Jesus.
Americans just ate up Mall Cop.
I like that was the story America was waiting for with bated breath.
Yeah, to be fair, that is a strictly American story that you can have. I mean,
like apple pie or Lassie.
Yeah, that was like our generation's Fight Club. Like, that just hit on a nerve.
On a slight aside, I found out recently, one of my friends, his dad used to be like a scriptwriter in Hollywood. He had, I think, one movie made by Sylvester Stallone. And I found out recently he turned down the option to write a script for a movie. And that movie was Fight Club. My friend's dad could have written Fight Club.
Wow.
And he turned it down because he didn't like the story.
Well, I think that worked out best for everybody.
I'd say so.
Like,
What Stallone movie was it?
I honestly don't know. I saw a poster of it once, but I forgot to write the name down. It was
Freeze
like
or My Mom Will Shoot?
Well, let's go with that because I think that'd be the best one.
Daylight?
Is it Cliffhanger? Please tell me it's Cliffhanger.
No, it was seriously a Stallone movie I'd never heard of. And
Was it IC?
I See You?
Yes.
Oh god, if he wrote ICU, we have to get him on the show and interview him.
Oh, goddamn. Stallone's been in like 71 goddamn movies. I don't know how I'm gonna find this.
I mean, you could just look up the dude's name. It's not that hard.
I don't know. I know his last name's Matthews, and I'm sure that's unique for writers.
Well, I mean, you know.
Cross-reference
This might be a project.
Matthews with Stallone. Come on, use your Oracle powers.
I can do that for pictures.
I swear to God, I'm looking this up right now.
Alright, while we investigate this mystery,
I should just ask Paul directly, but that'd be too easy.
since MB mentioned Terminator 2 100 years ago, is anybody looking forward to Terminator Genisys?
Yes,
Wait, which
I'm
month?
the one.
Which month is that one coming out?
You're skipping way ahead, man.
Yeah, you're skipping super ahead. That's not till
I didn't know we were doing this in chronological order.
We are. We've got lists in front of us, man.
I know I do.
Speaking of which, we're pretty much done with April.
We're on to May now.
Let's look at May, and oh look, it's the movie that's
Everything
going to
comes
make
out May.
all of the money ever. Avengers 2.
No strings on me.
Quizmotron?
Quizmotron. I think I can do it better now that I got the cold.
You don't even need to distort your voice anymore.
I can't stop.
But yeah, really, what is there to say at this point?
I think-
Avengers, Quicksilver, Scarlet Witch, The Vision.
Oh,
Just talk about the Vision.
Yeah, pretty much. That was
My
the most
God.
exciting part of the latest trailer.
How amazing is it that the Vision is pop culture currency now?
It was. I've told this story to Mike. It was as amazing as walking into Walmart and seeing a frozen pizza with the Falcon on it. Where it's like,
oh
my
God,
God, the Falcon has arrived.
my childhood is validated.
I'm just
And he's
so
gonna have
excited
that-
for the Vision.
He's gonna have the cape and everything.
He's going to just be the Vision because you don't bring the Vision into a movie and not have him look as Vision as the Vision.
And he's gonna phase through things and fly and
He's going to have a strange love triangle with Scarlet Witch and, I assume, Quicksilver.
well, it's ultimate Scarlet Witch and Quicksilver, probably. So, incest is what I'm saying.
Oh, I get it now.
I'm sure Ulysses' claw had something to do with, pairing them together.
Okay, here's something.
Damn you, circus.
That brings me to something that's been on my mind with the movie lately, especially with the dramatic reveal of how many people are actually going to be in this thing. It seems like they're doing a shit ton of stuff with this, even beyond just the Ultron plot. I'm really curious as to how it's all going to fit together.
Yeah, I've been wondering that myself.
Like, we're getting Ultron, plus them battling Hydra, plus Claw showing up, plus Black Widow's origin, plus Quicksilver and Scarlet Witch, plus the Vision. Plus
Somehow it'll
some
be less than
Loki
3
stuff.
hours long.
I don't actually think that from what I've seen, it doesn't really seem like they're gonna fight Hydra that much.
I think it's just the beginning of the film.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
think it's just like kind of a prologue where it's like that's how they get to Scarlet Witch and Quicksilver because they're experimented on and like they bust them out and then they turn evil and go to Ultron, who's been created by Robert Downey Jr. at this point. And then,
Shit
and then
happens.
evil robot James Spader just wreaks havoc across the world and
Credits.
yeah, it doesn't even end like with them saving the day. It's like James Spader just wins.
You've seen enough. Credits. 20 minutes.
They do Dark Reign with Ultron.
Oh god, that would be amazing.
I'm the director of S.H.I.E.L.D. now.
What if they're just teasing us and we never, ever actually get to the Infinity Gauntlet? Like, that's just one big front.
What if
It's
this
just
was
fucking Ultron forever.
I'll do you one better. What if this was actually the movie where suddenly Spider-Man shows up?
Hey guys.
I'm sure it is.
Okay.
They are bringing in Danny Elfman for 5 minutes of score. That's a legitimate theory people have on the internet. It's fucking hilarious.
It's gotta be more than 5 minutes. He's on the goddamn poster.
Well, they're using something of his, so.
Yeah. What I'm curious about is, since they've already announced like pretty much the entire cast is going to be in Captain America 3 as well, who are they going to kill off in this one? Let's put our bets down.
Coulson.
They kill. I was about to say they kill Coulson again.
Hulk
would make a certain amount of sense.
I'm gonna say that we're gonna have to say goodbye to Eric Selvig.
No.
Oh, actually.
No, he was the best of,
The man had a god in his head. He can fight through anything.
They bring back Jane for one scene just to kill her off. Thor is very upset.
God, if
She just
only.
walks out and is immediately shot.
She walks into the Avengers HQ and is just crushed by Ultron. That's good.
I know for a fact though that it's not going to be Hawkeye. Hawkeye's not going to be killed off because he's already they're already saying he's going to be in another movie.
To be fair, they said Hawkeye. Could be Kate Bishop.
Huh?
I'm all for that. Bring Ellen Page into the universe. The better Hawkeye.
Like that. But they've already announced a bunch of people are going to be in Cap 3, so we already know, Iron Man's going to be there, Captain America's going to be there, unless they pull a weird one and all of a sudden the Falcon becomes Cap, which should be unusual.
Well, Cap 3 is the more questionable of the two films because Cap 3 has a ton of plot threads to wrap up from the last movie, plus it has, the plot threads that's introducing in this movie, plus it has Spider-Man, who's just kind of coming in, and Black Panther, who was originally, I suspect Black Panther was going to be their backup for Spider-Man, because they didn't expect to get the rights.
I'm sure they're trying to figure out how to write Black Panther out now.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's cast. They can't go back now.
So
I've heard a lot of people saying it's going to be War Machine. Because they're not using him anyways.
Pretty big theory. Or no one dies. There's always that.
Or no one. What a twist.
The actual, prevailing theory that I've seen is that Quicksilver dies because of that scene where Scarlet Witch just drops to her knees and starts screaming and everything just goes psycho. It tends to do with Scarlet Witch.
It would be hilarious if they just killed off Quicksilver and Scarlet Witch. Well, that was a waste of time.
Well, they're introducing the Vision, so they can't kill off Scarlet Witch.
They could. The Vision's more important.
Well, technically,
said no one ever.
They have to kill off Jarvis so he can become the Vision.
Did you just insult Vision?
Yeah, what the fuck's wrong with you? Come on.
Even a robot may cry, Mike.
Bro. Even robots feel sad.
That's deep.
It is very deep.
David,
I hope?
What makes you Vision?
Whoa.
Love.
What I hope they're doing with the massive fucking cast list that they have is, in the grand Marvel tradition, whenever Ultron starts fucking things up, we get the pan around to the entire Marvel universe reacting, including Heimdall.
Just a Daredevil standing next to a window, shrugging and going back to whatever he's doing.
Jones drops her cigarette.
Somehow we have a reaction shot from the 40s of Haley Atwell.
Iron Fist is in the middle of punching a Dracula in the heart. He looks up.
A Dracula?
A Dracula.
I'm sorry I improved his origin.
Is this Cody Alf presents the Iron Fist saga?
Ooh.
I apologize. We had a 2-hour-long Dracula discussion before recording, as we usually do to warm up for Box Office Pulp, so...
That's not an exaggeration either.
Dracula eyes on the mind.
For everyone at home, that is not an exaggeration. We literally spent over an hour discussing Dracula films.
And you brought it up, so...
I'm not ashamed.
I'm
not ashamed.
Back off, I'm not ashamed.
I'd do it again in a heartbeat.
This has nothing to do with the subject of tonight's episode, but I feel I'd be remiss if I didn't share this with the audience. The reason we started talking about Dracula is because Cody found a mysterious file on his computer, which he does not remember creating, which is just still images of every movie Dracula dying.
Well, that's an exaggeration. There's only like 11 or 12 in there.
And the prevailing theory...
just the popular ones.
The prevailing theory we came up with is he created it in a moment of panic and depression to remind him that good does triumph over Dracula.
Well, I like to all think we're all Draculas at heart. No matter how much power you have, it is inevitable that you will lose.
Well, see, that was your guys' theory. My theory is that Cody is a sleeper agent, Dracula hunter, and that was his files of successful kills.
I killed Leslie Nielsen. It was me.
Wow.
I can't live with the guilt anymore.
I miss him. Why do you have to?
I do too.
So anyway, I like how we said let's not even go into Age of Ultron like 20 minutes later.
That's why we shouldn't have gone into Age of Ultron, because everyone's already going to see it. They don't need us to remind them that it's going to exist.
All right, let's talk about a movie that we'll talk about for the next 3 hours. Mad Max.
Mad Max.
Oh
God.
Oh,
damn.
God. The most balls out crazy thing. The movie I'm still not convinced is real.
When Mad Max was announced that they were making another Mad Max without Mel Gibson, did any of us expect this to be worth watching?
no.
I didn't even know that Miller was coming back until I saw the trailer for it, so that was like a double punch.
Yeah, I had no expectations, and then it kept getting pushed back and delayed, and they were saying, oh no, it's because people liked it, we're making it better. I'm like, yeah, sure, you've got a turd on your hand, you don't know how to get rid of it. And then the trailer dropped, and my mind was blown.
They delayed it so they could add in Charlize Theron's robot arm.
Robot arm.
Like, she had a completely normal arm in the movie. They just CGI'd a robot arm over it. Because how could they make it better?
Kamikaze guys jumping off of cars to explode into other cars. Mad Max chained to the front of a car like a hood ornament.
More gimps.
Yeah, he's weirdly like he really looks like the damsel in distress of this movie. It's amazing.
Does. Everything I've heard them say about it makes it sound like it's just going to be a 2-hour-long car chase. Like, they don't stop, they don't talk, they just race.
I hope the big plot twist is that Thomas Hardy isn't actually playing Max, it's Theron. She is Mad Maxine.
And her world is fire.
Fire and gasoline.
Okay, I'm gonna be perfectly honest here. I haven't even seen any of the Mad Max movies. Like, none of them. And I have
Not
to say,
even Beyond Thunderdome?
How'd you get all the Thunderdome references?
But, having seen the trailer to this, I intend to rectify that and then see this, because it looks that good.
The Mad Max series is fantastic, because they basically are like, well, we could, do safe stunts, or what if we just put someone's life on the line for every time we need a motorcycle to crash? So, yeah, I feel like a palpable dread for the stuntmen in these films. Like, it feels like someone should have died when they're crashing these cars together.
Well, there is that famous making-of featurette on the Road Warrior VHS, which I don't think is exists anywhere anymore, because I'm sure it was used as evidence at some point in some trial, where it's just them apparently just trying to murder the cast and crew. It's like, well, here's us just throwing flaming arrows at somebody. Here's us telling someone to just drive a car full of gasoline into a wall. Here's me murdering a man just to watch him die. George Miller, no.
That does sound like the Mad Max series.
That's how Justice League Mortal came about.
Bring the helicopters lower. I do wish Miller filmed this one and the sequel idea he had back to back, because I'm terrified no one's actually going to see this movie.
It's coming out like 2 weeks after Avengers, so ooh boy, it's risky.
It's coming out the same day as Pitch Perfect 2, and that's going to destroy it.
Well, those are different demographics. It'll come down to if your boyfriend can drag you along to go see car chases, or if she can drag you along to go see a musical. However, if you go to Pitch Perfect 2, the Green Bay Packers have a cameo, so that might be the better option. Also, Anna Kendrick is amazing, so.
Anna Kendrick is amazing. We can all agree on that.
Right. So I don't think you lose either way.
Only she was in Mad Max.
Yes, she and Rebel Wilson.
Okay, guys, I'm just going to suggest the perfect solution. You watch Mad Max and then just get another ticket to go see Pitch Perfect 2. You can get everything you want.
All in one package and day.
Or you can go to see Mad Max, then you can go see Pitch Perfect 2. Then halfway through Pitch Perfect 2, you can go back to see Mad Max.
Well, I'm not sure when the Packers make their cameo, so you have to wait for that. Look, you can get Brian Balaga singing and dancing while Clay Matthews shows off his muscles. What more do you want?
Let's just assume that it's in the first part, in the first half. That's it.
It's possible. You probably already saw the cameo in the trailer, so that's probably the entirety of their role anyways.
God, you're so defeated by this.
They teased, and they didn't have any intention of carrying through an entire movie that just had the Green Bay Packers in the entire runtime.
So
You don't know.
I don't.
It could be a team-up movie.
So
Oh, that'd be cool.
transitioning, Pitch Perfect 2, James's favorite movie, I'm sure. I think you're actually the only one that's actually seen the first one.
No, I saw the first one.
Oh, you saw the first?
I once had a girlfriend.
Was many years ago. Gather round, children. I'll tell you the tale of me not alone.
It ended with me not seeing the grave.
But then you did, so it's a happy ending.
Well, yes. See, everything's turning up Cody now.
You're the petty alpha wolf.
But yeah, people shit on Pitch Perfect. It's like, I wasn't into that movie, but it's one of those things where I understand what other people get out of it.
Yeah.
It's like there's no shame in saying, I am not the audience for this movie. It did nothing wrong, it's just not for me.
Yeah, there's a couple of moments in there that made me laugh, but for the most part, I could care less. Couldn't care less. And the people I saw it with ate it up. So I have to assume I'm just not the target audience.
Like, I've discussed this before. Nothing makes me laugh more than when I see, like, 30-year-old dudes on the internet talking about how they hated Pitch Perfect. It's like, you really think you were the audience for that movie? You think they were writing that screenplay with Steve from Cincinnati in mind?
Yeah.
It's like, this movie designed to make 16-year-old girls laugh was not to my taste. Bullshit.
And once again, Anna Kendrick is amazing, so.
Yes. I want her to have all the success.
It gave the world cups. So on to our next movie, Pitch Perfect 2.
I like how that ended on a somber note, so naturally, let's go to Poltergeist.
No. We're skipping way too far ahead because we also have May 22nd, Tomorrowland.
To be fair, Poltergeist comes out May 22nd.
Yeah, and Poltergeist.
No, they bumped me.
Poltergeist is listed first, so Mike was
They
right.
just changed the date for Poltergeist, didn't they? They moved it back or forward?
I thought they changed it to May.
Oh, yep, you're right. They also have moved Poltergeist to May 22nd.
So they moved it to the same day as Tomorrowland because they really want to destroy and make sure no one knows they made this.
Vendetta against Sam Rockwell.
James,
Hold up. Yeah.
Yeah, unplug your mic back in.
Edit point.
Do the kazoo.
The system is down. It's down. The
Acid
system
party.
is down.
Acid
Breaking up now.
Yeah, you still are.
Yeah, you're still.
Yeah.
James, I'm afraid you can't speak on the Poltergeist segment.
Oh, no.
Oh, that was the only reason I joined this podcast.
What if we just had made scary comments with that horrible, kind of broken up noise?
Oh god, it's the white noise version of James.
There we go.
Avenge me!
Towards the light, James. Head towards the light.
Mike, he's already dead. That doesn't work.
Uh-oh. Away from the light.
Die more.
Okay, wait, is that the Stallone movie? Die More.
Die more.
By the way, I looked up pretty much every Stallone movie, and I did not find a credit with the last name Matthews.
I know, I was doing the same thing.
I like the tag up like
Your friend
45 minutes later.
No, I see it, honest. He gets I've seen the poster for some Stallone film in the basement, so it makes a certain amount of sense. Plus, his dad is, he gets to vote for, like, the Oscars and stuff, because he's part of the Screenwriters Guild.
Are you
He's
sure
gotten
it's not just a
screeners.
psychopath?
Okay, Cody.
Uh.
I have a poster to Grindhouse.
Is it framed?
Yes, and I did not make it.
What? Wait, that's, what?
But-
You can do that?
Yeah.
But Mike, you did make Grindhouse.
Yeah.
What's happening?
Oh, I hope I made Planet Terror.
You didn't know.
With MB's dying breath.
You motherfucker.
No!
Poltergeist. James, I think your connection's okay. Go.
Okay, good. Oh, the opinions I have on Poltergeist. I completely forgot that this existed until you mentioned it. Which I think is everyone's relationship with this movie. Like, every couple of months, they see something updated, and they're like, "Oh, they're remaking Poltergeist with Sam Rockwell."
I didn't even know this existed until like a month ago.
They only just released the trailer. They had been doing like test screenings of it for what, like
3 years?
Yeah, pretty much, and all were terrible. So,
Does the trailer look like a movie?
The trailer looks halfway decent, really.
it looks very pretty, like a very pretty horror movie.
Yeah, it's very slick.
Yeah.
It looks like it'll hit a lot of the same marks as the original film.
Because that's interesting.
Yeah. I don't know. I'm not totally sold on the idea, but it looks like it'd be solid enough. Probably kind of like the Carrie remake, where it's passable, but not...
That's what I was going to say. It's like, does it look anything like that? Because that's basically what you're describing.
That's kind of the vibe I'm getting from it. Like, it'll have a couple changes, probably look a little bit more slick, but not necessarily be worth your time if you've seen the original.
I wish clown will be CGI now.
Probably. The clown is in there, and he doesn't look actually as scary.
Yeah.
I wish they kind of did with the Poltergeist remake what they did with the Evil Dead remake, which is, here's a skeleton about an idea, go do crazy shit with it, instead of just redo that exactly.
They should have jumped ahead and remade Poltergeist 2.
Yes.
Yes. Even more racist.
Or I think this. Have Tobe Hooper direct the Poltergeist remake.
Yes.
Because then we'll finally know.
No, he's still fired and replaced by Steven Spielberg. This is the last time you get to do this.
Stop it.
But yeah, I really feel like that's the ideal formula for any remake. If you want to produce something that's worth seeing, it's just take the skeleton of the idea. Stop with this fucking movie karaoke bullshit.
It's like, I mean, I don't think... Did anybody even see the RoboCop remake?
Yeah, I saw it.
It's like, the actual movie aside, the version that the actual creators of it were talking about actually seemed like it was taking the skeleton of RoboCop and doing other things with it. Of course, that wasn't the film that it ended up with, but...
That movie was just, God.
Let's not speak of it again.
No.
No one does, so that's okay.
So Tomorrowland.
I like Joel Kinnaman. I'll say that.
Yeah, he's got charisma.
What was he just cast in? He was just cast in something like that.
He's Rick Flag.
Yep.
Oh, that's a shame.
The poor man's Tom Hardy.
Yeah.
He's getting collagen injection in his lips as we speak.
Anyway, as Mike said, Tomorrowland.
Tomorrowland.
Yes.
And I cannot believe that I never watched the trailer to this until today.
Well, they
For some
just released a second trailer the other day, so maybe that's what got your interest.
Well, I hadn't seen either. I don't know why, since I love Brad Bird so much, and for whatever reason, I never got around to it. This movie looks fucking awesome.
It looks pretty cool. Plus, it's Brad Bird. I'd see whatever he put out. After The Iron Giant, he's got me.
It's like, I just love how fucking 90s this movie looks.
God help me, I've actually somehow bought into the mystery box of Tomorrowland and have only seen the Super Bowl spot and the posters and stuff. I've decided not to watch the full trailer.
Yeah, same here. I've only seen, like, the small little bit from the TV spot, and George Clooney looks awesome. Yeah.
I am ungodly excited, though.
That's it. I couldn't tell you the plot of the film. I haven't watched the trailer, so I have a general idea, I guess, of things happening.
There's a land from tomorrow.
From tomorrow, and it's futuristic.
It's gonna be beautiful, and you'll probably cry.
It stars the most 90s teenage girl I've ever seen.
I love how we're at the point where we can have 90s throwback films.
The way cinema should be.
I'm pretty sure the deadbeat dad from the Tomorrowland trailer is the same deadbeat dad from Angels in the Outfield.
Angels in the Outfield.
What kind of money has that guy been living on? He hasn't had a job in years.
He's got Christopher Lloyd money.
I thought you were just going to say he had Christopher Lloyd. Like what? In his garage? Feed me Christopher Lloyd. Christopher Lloyd just pulls out food from his pocket and hands it to him.
No, Christopher Lloyd is like Rumpelstiltskin. He can weave things into gold.
He weaves sandwiches.
I'm just saying, you guys have missed out on the totally obvious joke of I got Christopher Lloyd in my basement.
Marty, give me the pills in my car, Marty.
But yeah, Tomorrowland looks awesome.
And then, May 29th, you get to see The Rock fight natural disasters in San Andreas 3D.
Hey, you're skipping ahead. We were going to talk about the Cameron Crowe rom-com Aloha, starring Bradley Cooper.
Well,
I haven't watched the trailer of San Andreas yet. Does anybody?
No.
my only relationship to that movie is occasionally seeing it in the related trailers tab on YouTube, and every time for a split second I think The Rock is starring in a Grand Theft Auto San Andreas movie.
Same.
I
Once again, the 90s throwback natural disaster film, but now starring The Rock.
Did any of those actually do good back in the day? Like, did anyone go to see Volcano? Or, like,
Who doesn't love Dante's Peak? Fucking grandma.
This is weird, but I actually got taken to the theater to see Volcano.
Wow.
I'm pretty sure that was my first rated R movie.
You needed to learn about the dangers of volcanoes. That was a public service announcement.
Because my dad was in a weird mood that weekend.
Volcano's a fascinating movie. I love Volcano. I mean, it's not a good movie.
I remember nothing about it because it came out when I was like 7. So
it's just like fucking lava everywhere. Oh,
No disaster movie will ever beat Dante's Peak.
Jesus.
Dante's
Action,
Peak.
Grandma,
no! Get out of that boiling water!
Oh, my legs! I'm dead. I got you that extra foot.
Acting.
That was the weirdest death in film history.
Well, goodbye, everybody.
Like, they should have just went dark. I just wanted to commit suicide.
The boat was in my way. I had to move it.
I've been trying to die, but you won't let me. Billy, I hate you. And then
I fucked Pierce Brosnan.
I remember when Brosnan had his weird American accent in that film.
You mean his Job accent?
Job.
God damn it, Job. You know everything there is to know about virtual reality. What do you know about love?
I was rewatching In the Mouth of Madness the other night, as you do, and hearing Sam Neill constantly go into his accent like every 5 minutes of that movie is incredible. He doesn't even try to hide it when it starts to happen. He's just like, oh, wait, nope, going back into American now.
So he goes full Neeson with it?
He does.
We don't need to bother with new takes. This one's fine.
What is
Well, Sam Neill is a psychopath, so I imagine they only got one take.
This is reality.
So San Andreas.
Yeah. The Rock throws shit. That's always good.
Yeah.
The Rock throws himself into molten lava. Rock, no!
I'm still waiting for the Rundown 2. So.
Well,
this is actually the sequel to Escape from Witch Mountain.
Race to Witch Mountain.
Oh, I'm sorry. I'm an idiot.
I will say this has Alexandra Daddario in it, so whatever it is.
So MV's ticket has already been purchased.
Yeah, pretty much. She's hot.
Is Woody Harrelson just going to go for it?
I hope so. God.
I just want to see True Detective Season 2 where Marty Hart teams up with The Rock.
You think we're bad men, Rock?
Volcanoes are a flat circle.
Oh, anyway.
I'm sorry, I'm just lost in that fantasy now. Just stop saying weird shit, Rock. I don't dream.
Anyway, the Entourage movie. Nobody.
Oh, right. That's coming out this year. Wow.
Jeremy Piven's got to eat.
Yeah, you can't live on that Smoking Aces money forever.
So Insidious Chapter 3.
Hey, are you guys still on board for Insidious? Did you guys enjoy the second one? I think I did.
I like Insidious Chapter. I didn't like it as much as the first movie. It's a not really horror movie, but I enjoyed it.
I loved the first one, and then I remember watching the second one and just actively finding myself not caring as it rolled on. Like, I would just stop paying attention to it and, like, pull my phone out and start playing with it instead of watching the film.
I don't think I'll ever watch Chapter 2 ever again, but yeah, for the most part. It doesn't have rewatchability, though. Chapter 3 looks cool. I'm sad it's a prequel. And
is that how they're doing it?
See Rose Byrne get her supernatural revenge?
Because I was really hoping it was going to be like that old woman, like, helping them from beyond the grave, like in Chapter 2. I'm curious to see what Lee Winnell does as a director.
It does explain a lot that it's a prequel. Okay, I think I understand the trailer better now.
You just thought she was alive again?
I was so like, how are they pulling this off?
We get to see the origin of that red dude.
That I wish fucking Darth Maul makes her appearance again. I also love the poster for this movie. It's actually really clever. Just a dialogue over a shot of a scary vent. It's kind of genius.
They did the Social Network poster right.
Exactly.
All right, I think I know the film that we all came here to talk about. Jurassic World.
Yet another movie I didn't watch the trailer for until today.
Really?
That it confuses me even more than Tomorrowland. I've not been avoiding the trailer. It's always one of those trailers I'm gonna watch when I get home, and then I forget about it. For like 6 months.
See, like, every time I go into a restaurant, it feels like they're playing a trailer for Jurassic World. I don't know how much money they spend on marketing, but it must be a metric shit.
That looks like... I don't know if anybody was really that excited whenever they found out we were getting another Jurassic Park movie, just because all of the potential sequel ideas that have been floating around for the past decade have been insane and terrible.
Hey,
Yeah.
the fucking Commando Squadron idea was fucking amazing.
We might be getting elements of that in a way. There are trained
seems like
raptors in this movie.
Well, we are getting a genetically modified Ultra Dinosaur.
Who
That will probably be psychic or something.
unfortunately doesn't
Can
really look that
camouflage
interesting.
itself. I think the big draw is that it's like a chameleon, you know?
That's clever.
Yeah, could be in the woods right now next to you in your bungalows.
Stealth dinosaur.
And it's gonna fight Chris Pratt and his army of raptors.
Yeah, that's what I was getting to. I like how this is going to be the most batshit Jurassic Park movie ever, but it looks like that's going to be to its benefit.
I hope so. I'll be honest, the trailer didn't do anything for me. Of course, I've never really been a Jurassic Park fan to begin with, so maybe if I was, I mean, kind of like, I've always take or leave the franchise.
I'm trying my best to keep my expectations down because I'm really excited. I want a Dilophosaurus attack, man. Like, so bad.
It is funny to think that the dinosaurs will still probably not look as good as the dinosaurs from Jurassic Park. Because no movie will ever top that.
The original Jurassic Park is like cursed in that way that nothing that comes after it will ever beat it. It's like they just filmed real dinosaurs.
Seriously, how does even the CGI still look good 20 years later? Did they just make that movie into the future?
I mean,
Possibly
fuck,
the past?
Wayne Knight wasn't even in there. That was just CGI and a puppet.
Do we want, like, a really in-depth, boring answer, or do we want just, like, jokes? I can go either way.
Both.
Okay, well,
Yeah,
damn.
combine them.
Well, it starts with the political climate in Hollywood right now and how funds are really divvied up among special effect companies. Right now, you basically are... If you notice, most of the best special effects companies that aren't like ILM are going bankrupt. Like the company that did the special effects for... a lot of the effects for like Life of Pi and some of the stuff for Prometheus, they won an Oscar and then immediately went out of business afterwards.
Yeah, that was fucking sad.
Yes, Rhythm... was it Rhythm and Hughes?
Yeah, I think so. If not,
Yeah.
I know they went out of business too, I believe.
Yes. So these companies basically are all, trying to cut each other off for the right to work on these properties, and they're not making enough money to really support themselves because they'll lowball their own costs when they take on these jobs. They're going bankrupt by doing work, which means the end product is normally not great because you have to cut corners just to stay afloat. So in a lot of these movies, yes, the means are better, but they don't have the same amount of time or ability to focus on these things and make them perfect.
They're cutting a lot of employees too, which is just spreading the work.
Yes. Besides that, the screen time for these things is astronomically large compared to what it used to be. In Jurassic Park, I don't know how much of the film is actually CGI, like how many minutes, but I can tell you it's probably just a handful. Whereas I'm sure Jurassic World, probably every scene in that movie will have some CGI in it. So, just the amount of work they have to do is huge.
Now, I remember when, of all films, Ghost Rider came out. Mark Steven Johnson was talking about how there was some technical CGI term, I forget what it was, that there's 8,000 of these things in, an entire movie. But in Ghost Rider, there's in one scene, there's triple that amount. And a couple years later, that's not unusual for CGI anymore.
Yeah.
Like, people act like CGI exploded in, like, the early to mid 2000s, but it really wasn't until the late, 2010s that shit got really crazy.
Yeah, it used to be like you'd have like one CGI character or something. Now it's everything is CGI and there's maybe a human actor who's also being augmented by CGI.
Well, I think the first, like, real, well, I don't know. It's kind of weird because this one is more green screen intensive, but, what is it?
Sky Captain the World.
Yeah, Sky Captain.
Sky Captain the World.
The all green screen movie, yeah.
Like, I think that was kind of the signal of things to come, and then you have Avatar, which came out, and dear God, was that the CGI movie to end all CGI movies? And
Well, I feel like Lord of the Rings started the trend of altering every single shot of an entire movie, rather than just having selected things enhanced with CGI or color correction.
Yeah. I mean,
now fucking romantic comedies have CGI in every scene because no one wants to actually build a prop or go to a location.
I remember the first time I ever noticed a really big overuse of CGI was in Revenge of the Sith, where literally every shot of the clone troopers just looked like they were in a PlayStation 2 game.
I still remember in the commentary, the special effects guy going, I still really need to ask George why every clone trooper had to be CGI and there was no costumes.
Yeah, what a weird thing. So there's all that stuff. Plus, Jurassic Park gets the benefit because it was the first, so everyone remembers it fondly with a little bit of nostalgia. And there are so many really great, like, puppets and animatronics.
Yeah, Jurassic Park is the greatest case you could ever make for practical special effects. Like, that
it is. Thing. Like, the guys wearing the raptor costumes, those puppets, or not even puppets, like the dudes wearing Jurassic Park legs, really sell that stuff. It looks real because it is real. And then you see a little bit of CGI to sell the stuff that they can't do with a puppet, and your mind kind of accepts it, because that's, it's like the shitty-looking shark puppet in Jaws. Your mind just kind of goes with it, because the rest of the movie's totally fine and great.
Well, yeah, you have the combination of the puppet with the music, and that really, like, two elements. I think really what Hollywood needs to understand is that two elements working in tandem is what makes the best kind of product, because if you do something with CGI and add practical effects with it, then it can actually work to your benefit to an insane degree.
Well, look at a relatively more recent movie like Spider-Man 2, where Dr. Octopus's tentacles are like half CGI and half practical, and it blends together perfectly. Like, if you watch that movie today, it's like, wow, it actually looks like he has tentacles because he actually has tentacles.
Which is amazing considering Spider-Man 2's CGI is iffy in places.
There's some pretty bad spots.
Oh, yeah. The death of practical effects is just one of the worst things that have happened in the last 10 years.
Yeah.
Especially whenever there are situations where practical effects are easier and less expensive.
Which is most of the time, actually.
Let's once again go into the Thing remake and the practical effects that had CGI pasted over them.
Because the studio was... I still understand, but what's their mindset? Oh my god, the regular people are going to see practical effects and think this is old.
Wait, what company was that?
That was Universal, wasn't it?
Universal.
It was a Universal picture, but who's doing the special effects?
I was going to say
special effects.
Oh no, well, I was talking about who released it, because I was going to say if it was Fox, it makes sense, considering they were destroying the molds of the Silver Surfer after every day of shooting, because it was an industry secret that he was practical.
One thing I did see, the guys who were doing the practical effects for The Thing were complaining about how hard it was to do practical effects, because they would design something and say, okay, we want CGI to augment this. This is going to be like a hybrid effect. And the CGI guys would come in and they kind of look at the puppet and they go, well, it looks really good, but it only works from this angle. Like the effect wouldn't work if you like stood 90 degrees from where they expected the camera to be, because that's how they designed it. You have to trick the camera so you can get the effect to work right. And they basically said, well, you can't do it this way, because what if the director comes in last minute and wants to set the camera up over there? Then the effect wouldn't work. So a lot of the effects were just completely scrapped and done with CGI, so they'd have the freedom of moving the camera however they felt, so they could make the effect in a certain way, like from a certain angle or for a point of view or something like that.
It shows the difference between just animators and people on set. Because I remember this was like a set visit for the Wolfman remake, and I forget who was doing the set visit. I think it was on 8 Cool News, who went up to what's his name, Baker.
Okay, Rick Baker.
Yeah, I went up to Rick Baker, and Baker was showing him, like, the practical transformation for the Wolfman that they had filmed. And he was talking about, like, yeah, they're going to augment it, like, very slightly with some CGI here. And then he went over to the animators, and the animators were essentially just making an entirely different movie from their end. Because they were coming at it from an animation standpoint. So, like, yeah, we're going to do this, and they'd show, like, the eye open big. And he was just, and the guy doing the set visit very much said that it looked really interesting and kind of surreal from Rick Baker's, like, the eye opening big during the transformation. But you go over to the animators, and they're animating something, and it opens too much. And it doesn't feel like a thing anymore. It's just a mentality going back and forth. They just don't really... practical effects people and CGI people just don't come together in the middle.
Yeah. What depresses me about the decline of practical effects is just that whenever you stop doing that and you lose the people who can do that well, that just becomes a lost art completely.
It already kind of is. I think they've talked about that quite extensively recently.
Yeah.
Like 10 years from now, no one is going to be alive who knows how to do practical effects.
Well, I was listening to a Nerdist podcast with Sam Raimi a couple months back, and he mentioned that exact point. Like, he wanted to do a miniature for one of his movies, and he couldn't, because there was one guy who could still do miniatures professionally, like how he wanted, and he was booked on some other movie because he was the only one around, you know? So they just had to say, screw it, we can't do it that way because no one knows how to do those anymore.
And people, like, Hollywood wants to go to, you know, The Lord of the Rings as their big example of a CGI movie. But fucking Lord of the Rings had so many practical effects. That was a model movie more than it was a CGI movie.
There is an industry going on just in those movies.
And now we have The Hobbit to look at.
There's a stark difference.
Remember when they took all those really cool practical effect orcs and then CGI'd over them 100% to make them less interesting?
Yeah.
That was fun.
So, yeah. But why are we still talking about this?
Now that we're all sad. Hey, there's a new Transporter movie coming out, isn't there?
That blew my mind when I looked. The Transporter Legacy?
Yeah.
What the fuck is even... What is that?
I think it's like a
got to
reboot,
take
isn't
up
it?
my mantle.
I know there's a TV show right now.
Yeah.
How is Transporter a franchise? There was barely a Transporter.
Weren't there like 3 Transporter movies or something?
Yeah, there was 3. Actually,
I guess it's a
2
reboot?
actually aren't
I
that
don't
bad. 3 I thought was pretty atrocious.
Which one did Leterrier direct?
He directed 2, I believe. Was it 2 or maybe 1? I think he was like a co-directing thing. They may have like co-directed the first one and just flat out directed the second one. I don't remember.
By the way, is Louis Leterrier dead now?
Yeah, what is he?
I think he's dead inside, considering how he's been treated.
A while back, I thought he had a pitch for Halloween 3, and then they decided they didn't want to use it.
Somebody look up Leterrier.
All right, let's everyone cross your fingers. I'm sure he's fine.
Mike and I depressed the hell out of each other last night by looking up Greg Mottola. He has not directed a movie since Paul.
Ooh.
Just a couple episodes of The Newsroom.
People like The Newsroom, don't they?
Like, why do I feel like Leterrier is in movie jail for Wrath of the Titans? That movie he had nothing to do with.
The sad thing is I like Wrath of the Titans more than Crash of the Titans.
Crash was a video.
Crash of the Titans.
That was a Crash
Titans
Bandicoot video game.
Oh, guys,
Crash of the Titans was... I thought Crash of the Titans was the movie that took on race relations in fantasy times.
With Terrence Howard.
Huh, okay. As a director, he's got 7 credits. Transporter, Transporter 2, Unleashed, Incredible Hulk, Clash of the Titans, Now You See Me.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. And that's getting a sequel, but I don't think he's in it at all. And he's filming something right now called Grimsby. A new assignment forces a top spy to team up with his football hooligan brother. It was written by Sacha Baron Cohen.
He's still alive, too?
Yeah. It stars Mark Strong and Rebel Wilson.
Well, look, after he married Isla Fisher, I mean, he had a new reason to live.
Also, Isla Fisher is in this.
Well, naturally. As she should be. She needs to be in more.
Hey, Leterrier gave us Danny the Dog versus fucking gangster Super Mario. He has justified his position in film history. He can rest on his laurels.
Unleashed is a very underrated movie. I quite enjoyed that. It's insane,
He gave us Hulk smash in a movie.
Oh,
He gave us the arguably best Abomination.
he was the on-set production assistant for Alien Resurrection.
Well, he is French, so that makes sense.
More penis imagery.
Well, yeah, Now You See Me was very popular, so he's eating. I'm glad.
Yeah.
Anyway, going back to the films that are coming out.
Moving on.
Has anyone seen anything from the Pixar movie Inside Out?
The trailer just came out.
Yep.
I haven't watched the full trailer, but the teaser was really cute.
The teaser kind of bugged me because it had the annoying part with the dad's emotions going like, oh, is the woman talking again? What does she want? Football. And it felt, very played out. But the new trailer makes it seem much more interesting. And it's Pixar, so you gotta give it a shot. I mean, we didn't get a Pixar film last year, I don't think, so this gotta make up for lost time.
When is that goddamn dinosaur movie coming out already?
Didn't they push that to next year? The Good Dinosaur?
Yeah, I think they pushed it like 3 times or something.
Last I heard, they said it wasn't working. They almost scrapped it at some point. I mean, this was a while back, and they kind of retooled it, and it was taking even longer now.
Well, it was completely re-scrapped at some point, but I think it almost was scrapped again.
To be fair, it is a Pixar movie. Those seem to die 5 times before they're released.
Yeah.
What happened with Brave?
Yeah. The current release date, according to Google, is November 25th of 2015 for The Good Dinosaur.
I hope it makes it.
Godspeed, little dinosaur.
I don't know what the plot of it is anymore.
What if the cataclysmic asteroid that forever changed life on Earth actually missed the planet completely and giant dinosaurs never became extinct?
Well, they've got my ass in the seat.
Why are we talking about The Good Dinosaur?
Please tell me this is just gonna be fucking Koopaopolis.
It looks like caveman time, so no.
Oh.
Sorry. But I'm excited for Inside Out. Plus, they have really good voice talent for it, too. Like,
Well, it's Pixar.
like Louis Black is voicing Rage, which just makes so much sense to me.
Yeah.
Bill Hader's going to be in it. Diane Lane. Kyle MacLachlan.
God, please
really?
tell me
He's in there
Kyle
too?
MacLachlan as Dreaminess.
No, he's just Superman. Old-timey Superman.
As he should be.
The new trailer really seemed to kind of expand the scope, because so far all I had seen was, the emotions in a person's head just kind of are going back and forth. The new trailer makes it...
The teaser was very much just a premise teaser.
Yeah.
I doubt that's even going to be in the movie.
It might. They used a lot of the same stuff in the trailer, but then they expanded the scope by saying, the main character has to go on a journey through the person's mind, like through their long-term memories and imagination land and all sorts of different things like that. So they do have a lot more room to kind of expand and play with.
Fucking Disney and their lands.
And their whimsy.
Fucking whimsy. Speaking of whimsy.
Whimsy.
Arnold Schwarzenegger and things.
Well, first, I'm trying to delay Terminator Genisys as much as possible, so I'm gonna go ahead and mention Magic Mike XXL.
Oh, yeah.
Cox.
How the okay. Going again to how the fuck is there a sequel to that? Like, what are the further adventures of Cock Tatum going to be?
I will tell you.
Harder.
Kevin Nash.
Wow, it's a one sentence plot summary. The strippers take a road trip from Tampa to Myrtle Beach for a stripping convention.
It's the same premise as Paul Blart Mario Kart 2.
It's a crossover.
But with stripping.
They bring the anarchy.
Ooh, look at all those cocks there.
Amber Heard is in it? Okay, I may actually have to see that.
Cock.
I don't really want to see a movie based around a strippers convention. That does sound fascinating.
Okay, we've held it off long enough. Gentlemen, what are our thoughts on Terminator Genisys?
To be fair, we don't actually have to talk about it. We just have to mention it.
All right. Motherfuckers, I am interested in Terminator Genisys.
Of course.
And I am not afraid to say it.
You should be. He hose you down.
I know. I've honestly, I haven't been completely sold by the trailers, or the leaked news, or the pictures, or the magazine covers,
or the anything,
or the idea, or the plot synopsis, or the subtitle. But damn it, I'm holding out hope that Arnie's going to give us one last great Terminator film to erase the stink of Terminator 3 from my mind.
I don't think it's going to be this one. If it's going to be anyone, it's going to be Terminator 6, which is apparently coming.
I was so baffled by that trailer. Like, on the one hand, it seems to make every cliched bad remake mistake, where it's like, it's the Terminator, but you get to see him go into the time machine, ooh, CGI. And then it just seems to be Terminator 2 again.
Well, I want to talk about this, because this is actually something that has been, it's like interesting idea in theory to do something like this, but one thing, they're choosing the wrong franchise to do it with, because this is not a franchise where you should be experimenting at this point.
Yeah.
Like you have a set of parameters that was very clearly set up, I would argue, with Salvation, where it's like, just do something more with that. Like, just make the all future war movie. Instead, it's like, what they're doing is something I would love to see with some other franchise. I don't know which, but essentially what they're doing is they're doing a weird backwards retcon where it's like they're almost
Back to the Future Part 2.
Yeah, it's a New 52 of the Terminator franchise where it's like everything's different, but they're very aware that it wasn't supposed to be that way.
It's the Sarah Connor Chronicles, the movie.
Not even that. It's like it's the Sarah Connor. It's like the Sarah Connor of Earth 2. Like, it's almost this weird alternate continuity where everything happened differently, and
they're kind of doing the Star Trek alternate timeline thing.
Yeah.
To a very confusing degree.
Yeah, they're taking it to a
be fair,
different, like, angle with it. Which,
like,
I mean,
the idea of time travel in the Terminator movies has allowed them to do a lot of weird stuff. And each movie, it does kind of a soft reset of the continuity of the last one. Like, every time they mention a plot point that's big and important in one movie, the next movie will explicitly kind of get around it or try and get a way to say, oh, no, don't worry about that.
Well, the minute the series had a sequel, that's when, that's kind of when they could venture off into their own different things. But with this, it's like, they're just taking that completely to heart. It's weird. It's really weird.
I just don't know if you can wring out yet another movie or series of movies out of a robot wants to kill Sarah Connor.
And Schwarzenegger's good this time and is protecting her.
Just like in No, we don't talk about that.
Just for the franchise to survive, it should have continued doing what Salvation did, which is just the world doesn't actually need Schwarzenegger. Like, there's a whole fleshed out sci-fi world that's been set up for the Terminator and doesn't actually need Schwarzenegger.
Yeah,
like he was used in the two capacities.
He needs the skeleton of him. That's it. Literally.
I think the box office returns of Terminator Salvation, though, prove that.
But did that have anything to do with Schwarzenegger? Did it though? Like, did that have anything to do with Schwarzenegger not being in it?
I'm saying without him in there's a lot of fans of the series who only come because of Arnold. Like, there's a hardcore group of fans that'll see anything Arnold does, and they'll drag people with them, especially for a big name property. Without Arnold, I think their Terminator isn't as valuable a brand.
I feel like people were really excited for Salvation in the lead up to it, but then the weird, like, Frankenstein monster of a film that was released kind of put people off to it. I think if they had just went straight for the movie they were going to make and actually made a stronger product, I think that would have made a lot of money.
Yeah, Terminator Salvation was insanely hyped up. Like, people were really excited for that movie, and I think they were actually very willing to move on from Schwarzenegger being a part of the franchise because, again, I think the future movie is what everyone has been wanting for years. They've been wanting it since Terminator 2, and
it's the movie everybody's wanted since they were 12.
Pretty much.
I think the Bale thing kind of killed it.
Yeah, the Bale thing and the movie just kind of being weird.
Well, Bale kind of killed it in multiple ways.
Yeah.
I still really like Salvation, actually, but I understand why people don't. I never quite understood why it failed so miserably other than the Bale thing. You'd think it would at least do a great opening weekend.
Yeah, the Bale thing was like, well, you would almost think that would cause more of an interest because that's the movie where Christian Bale went insane.
I assume is what would happen.
I think Salvation is solid, but watching it doesn't quite feel like the Terminator prequel movie that you would want to see. It's kind of like a weird oddity, like almost a side story to the franchise. Like, here's this thing that happened.
It's kind of a like test reel of stuff of things we could try out in other movies, but we're doing it in this one first because we want to see if it'll actually be palpable.
It's a
It's like
prologue.
a trailer
to
for it's a trailer for a franchise that never panned out.
Yeah, which is strange. And honestly, I liked it the first time I saw it, but the more I've thought about it and went back to it, the more it just kind of like it wasn't enough to really kind of satisfy me. But I would have bought into a sequel easily because just continuing the whole Future War.
something different.
It's a sandbox you can do pretty much anything with.
Yeah. And
what's
I would
always-
even argue that you don't even really have to focus explicitly on like John Connor. I would say that you could do like almost a side story set during the Future War, and that would be kind of cool.
This is kind of a weird pull, but it's something that's always kind of confused me about the Men in Black franchise, where it's like, wow, there's an entire universe where you could do anything, but no, we're just going to keep remaking Men in Black.
Yeah, like we're just gonna keep following Will Smith and Tommy Lee Jones. We're not gonna follow any of these multiple other agents and multiple other aliens that we could do.
Because J and K are totally the most interesting thing in that universe.
Well, I mean,
I will-
it's Will Smith.
Where's my Zed movie, goddammit?
Look.
Intergalactic Kegger.
He makes this look cool.
God, Zed and the Worm guys in their own movie.
Worm guys. Oh my
Like
god.
they go on a road trip. They go on a road trip. I said, shut the fuck up back there!
They could do like their own
They just
Minion
remake
style.
Beastmaster.
They could do their own Minion style spinoff. Speaking of which, Minions.
Well, I just want to say real quick, even if this movie is not very good, I still want it to be a success just because I want to see Emilia Clarke be like an A-list action star. Because God, if anybody deserves it, it's her.
No, if anybody deserves it, it's Matt Smith, frankly.
Matt
Who is
Smith did that?
who is in this movie? I can't believe that.
Wow.
Yeah,
He's the new Terminator.
One
I have no idea what his role is,
one
but
bad thing. It's been kept under wraps, but they showed him like future gear armor, so
yeah.
he apparently is a kind of a fighter in the future timeline at some point, maybe, or a Terminator double agent. I don't know.
We can always just pretend he's the Doctor undercover.
They've shown him with adult John Connor
Yeah.
in future timeline because that movie's just going to have every Terminator thing thrown into a blender.
Yeah, I mean, I think it said it all when you watch the trailer, and literally the last part of it is Arnold turning and saying, "I'll be back," before leaping out of a helicopter. It's like,
Just
we
for
get
me-
it. We
for-
get it.
For me, the trope of just remaking Terminator 2 Arnold over and over again just doesn't do anything for me.
Yeah, to be honest, I've always been of the opinion that the idea of the Stone Cold Killer Terminator was actually more interesting. Like, the hero Terminator was good, but only in Judgment Day. Like, it should have been a bottle thing.
I think what makes Terminator 2 such a great movie is that it's a completely different movie from Terminator.
Yeah.
Like, they kind of missed the point of the franchise that every movie was supposed to be completely different.
Yeah.
Which is weird because, like, we did get a different movie in Salvation, but at the same time, 3 had left such a lasting horror on the franchise that
You're saying that The Terminatrix was not an amazing addition to canon?
Oh, the
Oh.
Matrix.
Still, I
that
will
red
watch it.
pantsuit.
I will watch it for Emilia Clarke and her action eyebrows.
I can't say I have any interest in watching it, but
Action eyebrows, MB.
I
Maybe they'll squint more like in the promo photos.
should be in more things, I'm sure.
Naked.
Gee, better.
Game of Thrones Series 6.
Anyway,
we got that.
Peter Dinklage.
before Mike starts singing that completely off tune,
Fuck you.
I'm sorry, man. I apologize. But
Guys, you're ruining the company
Next.
picnic.
got that
I haven't been
joke.
on a
fighting.
picnic in hours, man.
Okay. Ant-Man.
The Ant-Man?
The Ant-Man by
I
Marvel.
need you to become the Ant-Man.
The Ant.
Just rubbing Paul Rudd's thighs as he sang it. I'm sorry.
Get tiny.
Scream into my ass.
Do it. Just climb in there.
I don't like where this movie's going.
How does this fit into the Marvel Cinematic Universe?
It's just been 20 minutes of Paul Rudd being slowly drugged and raped. I don't know. Why is Michael Douglas doing this? Was this Edgar
Why
Wright's
did Edgar
vision?
Wright make this? Why?
That was the change they wanted to make that made him leave. Why is Hank Pym just is sexually obsessed? Why is this 50 Shades of Grey all of a sudden?
Wait, I thought you said change. That is Hank Pym.
Well,
Oh, you got me there.
All right.
Okay.
I'm gonna be Goliath, and you're gonna be my Ant-Man. Now get in there.
Jesus.
You got-
Can someone please do a cut of the Ant-Man trailer where it's the fucking crazy, where it has the Crazy in Love cover from the 50 Shades trailer? What do you know about Mr. Pym? But you were saying.
that disturbing flight of fancy aside, people keep saying that this is going to be the first big flop of the Marvel Studios movies, and I don't get it. I don't see why people are so
Yeah,
up
it's
in
clearly
arms
the
about it.
Hulk.
Like, low blow, man.
That movie that made no money.
Allegedly. But Ant-Man seems predestined to get a lot of flack, and I think it's just because clearly there's a lot of people that are mad because of what happened with Edgar Wright, and I agree with that because Edgar Wright was going to make an amazing movie, even though he took way too damn long. But it is a step down, yet I saw the trailer, and I have to say I was excited. I was way more excited than a lot of people were. Cause
I don't realize so many people shat on the trailer for not being exciting or dynamic enough. I was like, first of all, it's a teaser trailer. Second of all, it looks fun.
Yeah.
I'm sorry it wasn't Guardians of the Galaxy.
Issue. Yeah, I think that's it exactly. They're measuring up to a trailer that really... Okay, no one knew about Guardians or cared about Guardians until that trailer came out and there's the Ooga Shaka part. And all of a sudden everyone was on board. They had a really good trailer that completely sold it to everyone. And Ant-Man didn't have quite the same thing. Like, it wasn't really snappy. It wasn't...
It's a weird teaser.
As funny as you'd hope for a concept. Yeah, for a movie called Ant-Man, you expect it's got to have some sort of really good comedic hook to get you back in. So I think for mass audiences, Ant-Man seems like it's just kind of lackluster.
I just worry that the price of poker has been raised so much with these movies that everyone is expecting every concurrent Marvel franchise to just be the Avengers or Guardians of the Galaxy right out the gate.
Yeah, and you also have the problem with every movie ramping it up and that being like a precedent where, like, you had Captain America: The Winter Soldier, and we're following it up with like Avengers: Age of Ultron. How do entry-level heroes compete with that unless they're Guardians of the Galaxy? Like,
yeah, which is
and Guardians really shouldn't have worked. The only reason I think it did work was because James Gunn is out of his mind in a good way.
Yeah, it's the only thing that worries me about the quality of Ant-Man. It's not even really a quality issue. It's just I'm worried that when we see it, it's going to be good, but it's going to feel like a movie from 2008.
I would say if I do have one worry as far as the movie goes, because honestly, I've never really been that invested in the character or the legacy or anything like that, but I do like the approach that they've been taking from the beginning, which is like this whole kind of Batman Beyond take on the whole thing where it was
A mentor movie?
Yeah, a mentor
Legacy?
sidekick movie. Yeah, a legacy movie, which I think is actually pretty cool and manages to make it stand on its own as far as the other Marvel movies go.
Yeah, it's definitely a good move to go with Scott Lang, the more interesting Ant-Man, who actually has a backstory and a supporting cast.
And Paul Rudd, like, is a genius choice, I think, to be a superhero, because it's so out of left field. It's like when Downey was cast. Like, it just has that quality to it as far as the casting goes, and I'm really excited to see what they can do with, like, his power set and all that. So I'm looking forward to the movie, but at the same time, it's like, I am worried because it's a hand-me-down, and it's a hand-me-down that kind of got rushed into finally coming out because...
That doesn't worry me so much just because of how long it was in pre-production. I feel like they've had a long time to lay the groundwork for this movie.
Like, I don't mind Peyton Reed or anything like that. I don't have an aversion to him. It's just, it's strange to think of this as something that Edgar Wright pretty much developed for, God, the entirety of the Marvel Cinematic Universe existing.
That movie that was supposed to come out along with Iron Man and the Incredible Hulk.
Yeah, it's something that's going to be difficult to let go, that just from a visual standpoint, it's not going to look like an Edgar Wright movie. And he'd probably make a very visually exciting film.
I mean, you saw the test.
Like the teaser that came out at Comic-Con years ago, that was great.
Yeah. And I hope it's still going to look pretty visually exciting. But it's hard to tell. I mean, I have nothing against Peyton Reed. I'm sure immensely talented.
To be fair, I don't think Marvel's made a visually dull movie to date.
No.
Even with stuff like Thor 2 or Iron Man 2, those were still very visually dynamic movies.
Yeah.
None of them are going to be Edgar Wright dynamic, but I don't have any worries about Ant-Man looking boring.
Yeah, the only thing that kind of threw me off with the trailer was the weird stoic shot of Paul Rudd walking towards camera, and then cutting back to him just walking away from camera and stuff like it. It was weird, like how they intercut it, but
it was kind of a weird trailer.
It was a very weird. I don't understand why. It almost felt like, you think Ant-Man's jokey? Dead serious teaser, which seemed like an odd choice.
Especially since it's probably just going to be a comedy.
Yeah, it's like, and they kind of did the same thing with, Thor 2 and Iron Man 3. So I don't know, that was an odd choice for teaser tone. Especially when you're trying to sell it to the general audience who's just going to be cocking their eyes at a movie called Ant-Man about a guy who can shrink.
Ant-Man at that.
I mean, it's hard enough to get comic fans to buy Ant-Man comics.
Yeah, I think that's another thing that kind of affects the anticipation, is that there really aren't any Ant-Man nerds out there. And nobody's going to be really geeking out to see, oh my god, it's Yellow Jacket.
I would say there are a lot of people who are into the Hank Pym character, to a surprising degree, honestly.
Yeah, and I like Scott Lang. I mean, I think he's a cool character.
But yeah, Ant-Man himself is like not, the idea of it is not a household name.
They had to invent a new villain for him.
He's basically an extension of the Avengers franchise, which is weird because it's like Edgar Wright took so long developing the movie that he's not in the Avengers franchise. So he's gonna have to stand on his own when he really never did that in the comics.
I like the idea of them retconning the series to show that Ant-Man's been in every movie so far.
Just tiny.
Cody, you've been quiet.
I don't have a lot of positive things to say about Ant-Man because I'm just, no matter what, I'm going to watch it and go, oh, but Edgar Wright probably would have done this or that. So it's already kind of poisoned against me. I'm a biased viewer.
Yeah.
We throw you out of this court of movie.
I knew it would happen. I knew it.
I think that's going to be the biggest hump the movie has to get over. Like, I'm still having a hard time going, oh, but it was going to be Edgar Wright making a Marvel movie. It's like, that was what made me excited to give a shit about an Ant-Man movie.
Yeah.
But still, the stakes have been raised so much that Marvel is going to, at some point, have to roll Snake Eyes on one of these franchises.
Yeah.
Eventually the streak is going to be broken, and now they've released so much good stuff, it just feels like it's coming any moment.
And Agent of S.H.I.E.L.D. doesn't count.
But to be fair, I don't think there's any harm done if Ant-Man isn't good. It's not like, how will they continue the cinematic universe without 5 more Ant-Man movies?
Are you confused why Marvel's releasing this in July?
Yes. Right after their biggest movie?
Like, I thought they learned their lesson after putting The Incredible Hulk, 2 weeks after Iron Man. It's like, and they've been releasing, the movie came out in May, then they released one in August or November.
They also had the problem of sandwiching The Incredible Hulk between Iron Man and The Dark Knight.
That's black hole that absorbed everything.
Dear God.
It just seems like a weird place to, especially Ant-Man. Like, that's not a July movie.
No, not at all. That's a May movie, if anything. It's like they switched them around. Like, Avengers could have survived July. Easily.
It is weird that the movies to follow up Avengers Age of Ultron that will change everything forever is Ant-Man.
Yeah, Ant-Man is the end of Phase 2.
Yeah, that's a weird thought.
And
Like-
it almost feels like, I feel like Age of Ultron won't have any impact on Ant-Man. So it's just kind of like a side movie that got stuck there.
Yeah, that's the weird. I don't. Even though Ant-Man's helmet still looks like Ultron, which I find bizarre. Damn it, Pym!
He could have based it on a
There's no
hideous
end to his
design.
evil.
Well, we've talked enough about Ant-Man.
Yes.
Yeah.
So, does anybody have anything to say about Pan that hasn't already been stated?
I really don't have much of an opinion at all on it. It's like, I saw the trailer and it's like, huh.
Like I was saying before we started recording, like I, once again, just watched the trailer in preparation for this episode.
Damn it, stop having a running theme for this episode.
It doesn't look as god-awful as I thought it would, but at the same time, it doesn't look like a real movie. It looks like a fake trailer from another movie. Like, it looks like something from the Entourage movie. Like, look what Vince is in now.
It also seems like a strange holdover from post-Batman Begins when Hollywood became obsessed with origin movies. Just the fact it's even called Pan.
And I've said this 100 times, I love that we're already getting another gritty reboot of Peter Pan, like 6 years after the last reboot of Peter Pan.
Which is weird because, like, Peter Pan has amazing reboots in comic form, so they could also just do one of those as a movie. Instead, it's like, no, we're gonna do this weird mashup thing of ideas.
Give me my Peter Panzerfaust movie, goddammit.
Exactly. But,
With Christoph Waltz as Herr Hook.
I would see that.
So, you want to talk about Mission Impossible 5?
There's a Mission Impossible 5 coming?
Yeah, Christopher McQuarrie is gonna direct, the fifth one. And it's gonna have Cruise, and Renner's gonna come back, and Ving Rhames, Alec Baldwin's gonna be in it.
Yeah, they apparently asked Paul Patton and Maggie Q back, but they were apparently busy. I'm not sure what Paul Patton was doing, but I'll go with it.
She was busy fending off that dude that she divorced, who keeps writing love songs about her. It's weird. But
I'm
Glad to
excited
see
just
Mission-
because this is a short-haired Cruise Mission Impossible. Rule of thumb, those are the best.
I thought he still had the long hair.
No, he's got the short hair for this one.
I will say, to the credit of this franchise, I've always loved how Mission Impossible is just the whatever franchise. There's no real through line. It's just the go-to franchise when you want to do a spy movie. Any spy movie.
Look, it does have a through line, and that through line is named Tom Cruise.
And his
Tom
Lazarus
Cruise
pits.
doing big stunts.
Yeah, that dude has not aged in like 20 years.
As long as he throws the exploding sunglasses again, I'll be fine.
So,
I mean,
if I'm remembering right,
Look, there's already been set pictures of him running, so we know it's going to be a good
thank
movie.
God.
we're gonna get Tom Cruise running again?
Yes.
Oh, yeah. You were saying, Cody?
wasn't Mission Impossible 5 the movie they just shut down not too long ago so they could basically redo the ending?
Actually, McQuarrie came out and said that they just hadn't shot the ending because they needed something. So they were
didn't they just stop production for like 2 weeks or something?
Yeah, I think they had like to build something.
Tom Cruise had to grow a beard.
As I think it came out first that's like they were doing it because they had filmed the ending but scrapped it. It just turns out they actually just never filmed the ending.
Okay, because I was expecting a bigger delay. Like, well, it's still coming out in July. If they had to redo the ending, it seems like that wouldn't be feasible.
Yeah, it wasn't much of a delay.
Yeah. I don't know.
Anyway.
I've loved all the Mission Impossible films, so why not 5? Except for 2. I didn't like Mission Impossible 2.
I didn't care for the last one, but I still enjoyed it mostly.
Really?
I need to see Ghost Protocol. I've heard pretty good things about it across the board.
I don't know if it's still on Instant, but it was on there for a while, and I never watched it, but I want to. Weirdly, I only got interested in the series when 3 came out, and I saw that in theaters, and liked that a lot. And
Went back. Love.
And I went back and watched the first one a couple of years ago, and it was pretty solid, so.
Ghost Protocol is just kind of lifeless for me.
But he climbs a big tower.
That
and
is
there's
an
Simon Pegg.
That is an amazing sequence.
I think it kind
Anyway.
of comes down to the villain isn't so great in Mission Impossible 4. Like,
That
the
kinda
henchmen
ruined
are
it for
cool,
me.
but the villain is not all that inspiring.
I didn't
Wow.
even know what his name was for a while.
Monster bad guy.
Well, when
how do you
step
top-
down, Philip.
Yeah, how do you top Philip Seymour Hoffman? Just sweating like at 7:30 in the morning.
I don't think I'd do it.
I was about to do that.
That's how Cody starts every podcast. We just have to cut it out.
That's how I wake myself up every day.
You're just tied to a chair.
All right.
That's how I talk to my alarm clock. You don't think I'll do it?
All right.
Hit the snooze button again.
Real quick, how much do we hate Fantastic Four?
This much.
What end are we on? I feel like I need to defend it because so many people hate it, but I'm not that interested in it either.
No, nobody needs to defend it. It's
that Fantastic Four movie inspired by the works of David Cronenberg.
Like, I like the cast.
How can you not?
Josh Trank, I love Chronicle.
Josh Trank seems to want to make a specific type of superhero movie, and it's not Fantastic Four.
I was thinking of this just yesterday, reading something, which is I think it just turned out Josh Trank was pretentious and we didn't realize it.
That might be it. That could be it.
I think he's just really pretentious, and he just kind of accidentally made Chronicle.
I'm gonna reserve judgment on Fantastic Four till I see it, but I'm fairly pessimistic I'm not gonna love it. I'm just hoping it's good, so all the people that were bitching about it from the moment it was announced can just shut the hell up.
No, it would be amazing if it was really bad, but Mike Jordan as Human Torch was the greatest thing ever. He got his own spin-off movie.
Like, I feel like he could be. He's an amazing actor.
Listen, it's going to be good regardless, based solely on the fact that Dr. Doom is now an evil blogger who goes by the name Doom on the internet.
Hashtag.
Dudes.
Hashtag God.
At Give Me All Your Countries.
What fascinates me about that teaser trailer was just how much they went out of their way to make it reminiscent of Interstellar. That movie everyone loved.
Yeah, that really...
It's like, was that a coincidence?
Yeah, I'm fairly certain it was a coincidence, but it's just so weird how it lined up exactly. And like, I think something could have been made out of making it like this, but
just make a fucking Ultimate Fantastic Four movie.
Yeah,
that would have
exactly.
been interesting.
Like, keep the same cast, make it more like the Ultimate Comics. I think it actually would have worked, but instead it just like they sucked everything out of it that made it Fantastic Four. Like even when he like there's a shot in the trailer of Johnny lighting up, and it's like even that's a significant downgrade from when Evans did it.
He just looks like a dude whose clothes are on fire because realism.
Yeah, it looks weird. Like you want to.
They took the Fantastic out. It just doesn't look enjoyable.
And they're all wearing black. Like
it feels like somebody decided, like, how should we make a parody of taking something, fantastical and making it?
How do we make a parody? How do we make a parody, an unintended parody of Nolan movies? That's pretty much what it is. Like, it's Interstellar and The Dark Knight, but it's Fantastic Four.
It's like
it doesn't make any sense.
You're Trank talking about, it's like, well, to make the Fantastic stand out, you have to take everything down to earth around it. It's like, so you have to shoot it really drably and have it not be that interesting looking.
Exactly. You guys all complain, but just wait until Mole Man makes his appearance.
God, I keep forgetting Mole Man's in there.
And he's being played by the man who should be the leader.
Because he's just always going to be the sequel tease villain in comic book movies that won't get sequels.
He's the kiss of death.
But enough about Fantastic Four.
The Man from U.N.C.L.E.
Yes, I'm actually really looking forward to The Man from U.N.C.L.E.
I enjoyed that trailer, yeah.
Yeah,
I had forgotten about it until the trailer popped up, and I was like, oh wait, this is something to watch.
I like how fun spy movies are making a comeback.
Yeah, I still want to see Kingsman.
I'm just glad we're not getting a fucking dead serious Jason Bourne Man from U.N.C.L.E. movie, because that would have been hilarious.
God.
Guy Ritchie was prime for like a spy movie from the beginning, so.
I like the comeback Guy Ritchie has been having since Sherlock Holmes.
She still needs to make the third one up.
Someday.
We'll get around to it.
Starring Benedict Cumberbatch as the villain.
So just wait until it's like it'll be old Robert Downey Jr. doing old Sherlock Holmes.
Mr. Holmes.
Being Sherlock Holmes.
Well, I do think that Mr. Holmes is just going to be the third movie in that franchise.
Secret sequel.
Remember when I was handsome?
Same day as Man from U.N.C.L.E. Straight out of Compton. Which has the greatest trailer I have ever seen.
That movie does look kind of amazing.
I
Awesome.
had no idea this existed. I have to check this
Like,
out afterwards.
it actually looks. I have to say, I did not expect myself to be that interested in it, but it actually looks pretty like down to earth as far as the portrayal of it. Like, it seems like pretty straightforward, but at the same time, it seems like a really good throwback to that era in hip hop.
It really does. It feels like a movie that was made like 15 years ago.
And Jesus Christ, does Ice Cube's son look and act exactly like him?
It's really weird. Cody, thoughts?
None.
Racist.
Yes.
Racist.
Yes.
So let's come out after Straight Outta Compton. What's the next thing? Like Sinister 2?
Sinister
Yeah,
2.
Sinister
Have
2.
they released a trailer for that or anything?
No, nothing. I didn't even know it came out this soon.
Yeah.
It stars James Ransone, whoever that is.
This is such a disappointment because I absolutely loved the first Sinister. I saw it by myself in the theater and just fucking had a great time, which is weird seeing a movie by yourself in a theater. But I loved it. And now there's Sinister 2 coming out, and I'm sure I'll go to movie theaters and watch it and just be disappointed the entire time.
May I say, way to alienate anybody listening to this podcast who goes to the movies by themselves.
Hey, it's cool. You do what you gotta do.
I mean, you're
I didn't have friends. I went alone. It was okay. It's better with a group, but hey,
dig that.
I always go to movies by myself.
that's sad.
Well, thanks.
This has been Box Office Pulp.
Calls them like I sees them.
James, you were saying?
But I'm going to take a wild guess and say this isn't being directed by the director of Doctor Strange.
No, he is, I think he gets a co-screenwriter credit, but that's it.
Yeah, I think you wrote. That's about it.
Yeah, I really
Does it even
enjoyed
have a
this.
director?
No, it's fucking, it just
Oh, wait a
appeared.
minute. Why do I feel like this guy did something cool? Oh! Okay. Hope's Resurrected. The director is, I'm gonna butcher his name so bad, his family's gonna hate me
Syrian
for
Foy.
eons. Syrian Foy, thank you. He was the director of Citadel.
Oh, Citadel was...
Surprisingly
That's a solid movie.
good. Yeah, okay. I've got some hope then. This guy knows how to make a horror movie.
That's interesting. I didn't care for Sinister, but I would totally watch a sequel to it, though.
I'm just curious as to how you spin off that.
Yeah, what is the
Let's check.
plot? A young mother
Let's
and her twin sons move into a rural house that's marked for death.
Wow.
Well, okay. Get your from there. That's,
Not too exciting, but,
it could...
man, this is like a roller coaster. My hopes are going down and up and down.
Quick, look up who's composing the music for the film.
Who wrote it? Did someone cool write it?
Close but don't. I'm interested again.
Oh!
Okay, let's cut the crap, alright? Because we've been talking about these mediocre movies for all this time, and let's face it, we came here to talk about Hitman Agent 47.
Hey guys, remember when you played Hitman and you stealthily crashed that helicopter to kill your target? Pretty awesome. It's great they're remaking that moment.
Yeah, and remember when Zachary Quinto was the villain, kinda, but not really?
Remember when you were Agent 47, you did that weird spider crab thing to shoot guns behind you for some reason, and played by the weirdest looking actor I've ever seen. Seriously, how does
A
that
dude who didn't
giant
even,
and skinny at the same time?
and a dude who couldn't even shave his head fully. Like, Oliphant shaved his head fully.
It's like, how did the Oliphant movie have more in common with Hitman than this one?
It's so strange that, for one thing, we're getting another Hitman movie as if the first one was such a splash. And two, we're getting a movie with the same aesthetic as the Hitman movie nobody liked or went to see.
Except amped up to 11. Like, at least the last one had some stealth elements and shit are based around it and felt like a Hitman plot. Like, the original Hitman movie is decent enough. It's watchable as an action film. I'm still confused why they got rid of the cloning because that wasn't realistic enough. Which they brought back in this film for whatever goddamn reason.
Well, I mean, how can you lose with a movie written by the screenwriter of A Good Day to Die Hard?
Oh.
It looks like it, too.
Oh,
Walker's
stop.
gonna star in this thing.
Stop saying words. You're making me sad.
That's gonna be on your fucking tombstone. Words made me sad.
Okay. And
Closing out summer 2015.
yeah, there's really nothing else. Until Star Wars.
No, I disagree. Crouching Tiger, Hidden Dragon 2.
Really?
The Green Destiny.
Is that still on? I thought there was like some legal trouble that might prevent that.
No idea, but it has a release date of August 22nd.
Is Ang Lee directing?
No idea.
No, to the internet.
Didn't the popularity of Crouching Tiger, Hidden Dragon like crash like 2 years after the movie came out?
Not even. I don't think even 2 years. I think it was like.
I miss the craze of bamboo walking movies.
Oh, when wire work got super popular. It's like, that was stylistic. It just looks bad in other movies.
Oh, it will be the first feature film to premiere simultaneously on Netflix and in IMAX theaters on August 28th, 2015.
I'm so pumped.
Okay, so this is what I want to do. I want to go to an IMAX theater with my iPhone and have it playing on the biggest screen ever and the smallest screen ever at the same time.
Decadence.
Oh, what a world.
And then get a $10,000 Apple fucking watch and then watch it on there at the same time. And then have someone else hold an iPad next to my phone and just get screens so it gets progressively bigger depending on how far I look up.
In your social experiments.
Then I eat a hippo.
And you're listening to the whole soundtrack on your iPod.
If they served hippo at IMAX, I'd probably go there more often.
Really, that would put it over the top for you, hippo?
I think, just imagine a giant slab of hippo ribs as you're sitting down to watch fucking Interstellar or something. Oh.
Question, Cody. When you imagine a giant slab of hippo ribs, you imagine them animated like they're from the Flintstones, don't you?
Yes.
I do.
I knew it.
Honestly, yes. That was exactly what I had in my head.
You are totally the guy who fucking watches the opening of the Flintstones. Like, that looks fucking delicious.
It does.
I agree with
Thank
them,
you.
though.
Yes, yeah.
Yeah, I'm on
me.
Cody's side.
I always wanted those brontosaurus ribs.
Yeah. You've all dreamed of that? Like, you have ribs so mighty they knock your car over?
Yeah.
Every time I go to the Sizzler and that doesn't happen, I'm disappointed.
Right?
We have different dreams.
What do you dream? Do you have dreams?
His dreams aren't good enough.
Man, you're settling for fake hippo bones when you could be dreaming of brontosaurus ribs.
Oh, Jesus! I just realized Spectre comes out.
Not this summer.
No, but November.
Yeah,
And that comes out before
that's not
Star
the-
Wars. So, I was wrong.
It
There you
doesn't
go.
count. It's in November. We're not talking. The years only exist till the end of August, and that's it.
That's the end.
Podcast.
Hey, if they wanted the rest of the year, they should have mailed us letters requesting such a thing.
If you would
It's
like to
really-
talk about your film, send us money.
And here I was really hoping we were going to talk about Jim and the Holograms.
Whoa,
Sorry,
whoa,
but we
whoa.
can't.
Do
Or
not mock that project. You have no idea how much I am looking forward to the weirdest fucking movie that will ever exist.
Wow, okay. He is way more into that than I would have guessed.
You're telling me you do not want to see what the fucking director of G.I. Joe 2 Retaliation does with a motherfucking Gem and the Holograms movie?
Where they're still dressed exactly like they were in the cartoon, as if it were the 80s, with their
Am I a-
guitars.
Am I a
It's
bad
basically
person
the
for having
glam
not
of
seen
the
G.I. Joe
movie.
2?
Yeah, you're a bad person.
Okay, alright. That's all I need to know.
Look,
Jinx, sister of Storm Shadow.
look, all you need to know about it is that Walton Goggins at one point says the words Snake Eyes and Storm Shadow.
And Cobra Commander.
In
yes,
his
Cobra
collection.
Commander. And by the way, Cobra Commander is just Cobra Commander.
It's awesome. I'm sure they'll recast him for the sequel and make him terrible.
I say, but there's no Christopher Eccleston, is there?
Yes.
Well, you see.
Cameo eyes.
Yeah. He's the cameo eyes now. Oh, Malekith.
Anyway, I think
We've completed the gambit. I have to edit this.
Oh, everyone go home. Leave the picnic.
Stop with the picnic.
The picnic's
Stop
over.
with the talking, it hurts.
Take your checkered blanket and go home.
Take this year and shove it.
I'll be taking my...
We've recorded so long, we hate this year now. Goodbye forever.
Goodbye forever. If you want us, well, we'll just be sitting watching repeats of Age of Ultron over and over.
But if you really want us, you can also find us on iTunes.
Yes.
Or our Blogspot page. Or, fuck it, internet. Anywhere. Just type in Box Office Pulp. You'll find us.
Yes.
If you don't mind, I'd like to be the pitch guy real quick.
Oh, sorry.
Find us on iTunes, Box Office Pulp. Subscribe and rate. And if you want to listen to the other fine podcast in the Pulp Podcast Network, go to pulppodcastnetwork.wordpress.com. Find the accompanying links. And, of course, Box Office Pulp is also on Facebook and boxofficepulp.blogspot.com. And we're on Stitcher.
Yeah, you're right. That was much better.
Go fuck yourself.
No, I was being sincere.
Oh. Well, I just assume you're usually hostile, so I just...
I wonder how many times you've mistaken that now.
All the time.
Yeah.
Apparently, yes. I do occasionally can be sincere.
You're not my nemesis at all, are you?
No.
Friendship.
Box Office Pulp recommends keeping your friends close, but your enemies closer.
Box Office Pulp remains. Fuck it. I'm done.
Good night.
Good night, everybody.
Good night. Go home. That's a wrap.
Dylan!
Son of a bitch.
Dylan!
Son of a bitch.
And like that, he's gone.
What a show we have.